Okay, so now I'm back, right exactly where I left off, which is here. Okay, she calls for that. Let me back up just a tad. Kathy calls for this to be in a stem stitch. I think I said running stitch. Disregard. She called for it to be a stem stitch. Okay. So and that's what this is. This is a stem stitch. And I'll show you how to do that. I prefer the back stitch. I think it looks kind of snowflakey and I don't know. I'm just weird. What can I say? But I like the back stitch. So I'm going to show you how to do both. And then I'm going to show you another little technique too on how to do that. So let me move this for now. Remember, this was our guide. This washi tape was our guide to show the 1/4 inch size to do the cross stitch. Okay, now one of the things that she mentions in her instructions is to use a 1/4 inch wide piece of tape that is cut to 1.5 inches in length as a guide for the stem stitched lines, which are these. Okay, I'm going to show you a quick little trick on how you can do that. So again, washi tape. This is a 1/4 inch washi tape. Okay, and let me trim this off because it's not straight. And she's saying that there should be a 1/4 inch, or that there is a 1/2 inch, that these lines are a 1/2 inch apart. Okay, and she's recommending using a 1/4 inch wide piece of tape as a marker. So there's one of two ways that you can do that. You could use 2 pieces of washi tape side by side, or you could use 1/4 inch piece of tape. This is a little bigger than a 1/4 inch, but it's good for me. I mean, I'm okay with that. So, but here's a good way to get all your washi tapes, or whatever tape you're using, at 1.5 inches long. Okay, so just use your acrylic ruler. You're going to put one end at the 1.5 inches. So see, here's 1 inch, and there's a 1/2 inch more. That's the way this ruler works by Creative Grids. Pull that just like that, and then you can have a whole bunch of them like this, already prepared and ready to go onto your flannel, so that you can mark your lines. Or you could use, as I said, a washi tape that's already a 1/4 inch. Again, this is a little more than a 1/4 inch, but that really doesn't matter to me. So I'm going to take this up. And pull this off. And it's going to go like that. And then you're going to put one line on this side and one line on this side, whether it's a stem stitch or a running stitch. Entirely up to you. And then you can move this on down until it doesn't stick anymore, and then you've got more ready to go. Okay, so there's an idea for you, because eventually this won't stick anymore. So, but I did want to show you how to do both of these stitches. And remember before I told you that when you're doing a cross stitch, it doesn't matter whether or not you start at the left or the right. Well, with the stem stitch, it does matter. You are going to start at the left. After all that, having all this ready. And the first thing I do is pull it out. Okay, they're not coming to get me, so no worries. Okay, so this is the stem stitch. So you're going to come up at one end, and you can also look on YouTube and at her directions. So you're going to come up at one end, and you're going to, whatever your stitch length is that you're most comfortable with, I don't know if that's 1/4 of an inch or however big that is. And then you're going to come up in the center. Okay, you're going to come up, so you're going to go down here, and then you're going to come up between here and there. Like that. Okay. And that's how you get started. And from here, you're going to have the very same stitch length, but you're going to come up in this hole right here. And you can see then it kind of, see how it kind of overlaps. And you don't want to split your thread. So it kind of overlaps. Obviously, I'm making bigger stitches here than I did there, which I'm trying to do bigger so that you can see it easier. Okay, like that. Running stitch is different. Now, I use the running stitch a lot in my primitive stitching. I like the look of it. I mean, all my embroidery, almost 100, well, it is 100% of my embroidery I do in the running stitch. So it starts at the right, like this. You're going to come up on the right, and I'm calling this a running stitch. It's not a running stitch. It is a back stitch. So don't listen to me. Okay, so you're going to come up. You're going to go right back to where at the beginning of that stitch. Bark alarm's going off. And of course, you're going to want it to be straight, unlike mine in this awkward position. I hope I'm on camera, because I keep wanting to pull it towards me. I'm probably not. Let me start again. So you're going to start on the left, or sorry, on the right. Again, this is a back stitch, and you're going to start on the right. Videos are not my deal, can you tell? Okay. And you just keep on going along. You want them to be about the same length. I'm still on camera, yeah. Okay, back stitch. This is a running stitch. This is a cross stitch. Okay, this is the stem stitch, which is what Kathy calls to do, is the stem stitch. Now when you look on the back, so this is the back of the stem stitch, which looks very much like the front of the back stitch. And it's just the opposite. When you look at the back of the back stitch, it looks like the front of the stem stitch. So, running stitch, cross stitch, back stitch, stem stitch. Okay, so I think, so this is part 2 of the video. Watch part 1 in order to get the first part. And let me look at my notes here and see if I got everything that I wanted to tell you. Oh, another thing I did want to tell you was that thread has a right way and a wrong way. I didn't know if you knew that or not. So the way that it comes off of the spool is the right way. And another way that you can feel that, so in other words, this is the end that you want to put into your needle. The way it comes off the spool like this. This is the end you put in your needle. And when you run your finger through that, you can feel that it's nice and smooth this way, and it's a little rougher the other way. Okay, so that's another way that you can tell if your threads, and it doesn't matter, it really doesn't matter, but a little piece of information. Okay, so is this everything I wanted to tell you? Zigzag, freezer paper, flannel, I think that's everything. So your homework for this week is to, and you certainly don't have to use this this idea that I had. You can do it, you can mark your basting any way that you want. So you want to baste, that is 15 by 19. You're going to do all your basting, 15 by 19. You're going to do all your cross stitching all the way around, and you're going to do all of your stitch lines. So all of this part at the top of page 1, you're going to do all of this. Okay, you're going to do your prep, and you're going to do your embroidery, where you do your cross stitching, either stem stitch or back stitch. And then next week, when we get together, we will begin, I think we said our applique. We'll start putting our applique together. So it gives you a little bit of time to, if you don't already have it. I know that some of you have already said that you've already got all the supplies, which is awesome. If you don't, you can go ahead and you've got a little bit of time to figure out which ones that you want to use, and get your your fabric together, either in scraps or by purchasing your the little mini charm packs or a regular charm pack. So 2 mini charms or 1 5x5 charm pack is what you will need. So I think that's everything that I wanted to show you and to tell you. All that's clear as mud. And if there are any questions that you might have, something that you didn't, that I didn't make clear, drop me a message in the comment box, or you can direct message me if that's what you prefer. So anyway, I think that's going to do it for now, and I'm going to sign off. This is Deb. See ya.